Pakistani Fatigue 2 by Pepsiti. And I like Pepsiti. I prefer him over Sandman because Sandman's the more extreme version. Pepsiti's more the neutral, you know, everyone's got problems. Everyone has their own issues. Acknowledge your own issues and acknowledge other people's issues, but don't hate everybody. Don't hate blatantly. I prefer that.
This video is in no way, shape or form intended to generalize any group of people. This is just me objectively reacting to information available on the internet and sharing my opinions. Hi guys, welcome back to Pakistan.
I'm not Pakistani, but when I will grow up, I will be an army and save Pakistan and destroy India. Strong army, wow, great!
If this is what you've been taught since childhood, obviously you'll grow up with a corrupt mind filled with nothing but hatred. At this point, Pakistan's obsession with India is like a lethal mental disease. Thanks for getting the last video deleted, but it doesn't change the facts. You're telling...
Okay, so a lot of this stuff is brand new. So I think this is a redo. And so he re-uploaded the old video along with new content, because that one right there, I had never seen that clip before. I have no clue what the heck she was doing, but yeah, I have no clue.
The country that gave shelter to the most wanted terrorists in the world is behind this? Really? And watch this Task Force 2990 they have created to spread Indian hate. Is this like a regular full-time job in Pakistan? Do they get paid for this? Is this how they solve the unemployment crisis? They look so serious in these chats. Victor Codex India, Muzammil, copy this caption, post harder. We need to help our brothers with social media. We can't get a better opportunity to do PR for Pakistan. Yes, this is exactly how Pakistan will pay off its IMF loans and save its dying economy. Sadiq Ali, a Pakistani, is on a mission to spread false information and incite violence against Indians. Is it so difficult to understand? These Chinese and Pakistani propaganda groups are being run by criminal-minded digital terrorists like Sadiq. And these videos are just the tip of the iceberg. Their goal isn't only to justify racism against Indians. I'd like to start on a positive note.
Again, like I always look at that and it's like, Tyler O'Varia did so much damage with his video. And honestly, I think that's the start of the real India hate growing. That right there. That one piece. Because so many people reacted to that. So many people reacted to that, had no concept of India. And they were just, well, Tyler O'Varia. He does like, he's supposed to be a reporter of sorts. So of course people are going to take him for his word. Of course people are going to take him for his word instead of actually doing any research themselves, you know, or God forbid them actually traveling to a location.
Not all of them in Pakistan are like what you just saw. Some of them do have brains.
Since Pakistanis are so obsessed with the English language, let me give you a few facts in your favorite lingo. Nearly 45% of Pakistan's population is living below the poverty line. Pakistan's literacy rate is only around 63%, which means over 90 million people still can't read or write properly.
That's like so in the US, I think the reading, like the next generation, I think is it Gen Alpha? Is it Gen Alpha right now? I think it's like over 50% of them can't read. Over 50% of them can't read above like well, way below their grade level, way below.
More than 22 million children in Pakistan are out of school. That's the second highest number in the world. Pakistan ranked 148 out of 148 countries on the Global Gender Gap Index in 2025. That's last. And in 2024 alone, over 5,000 cases, 500 honor killings were officially reported in Pakistan. And the conviction rate remains below 2%. So you tell me which things we should be obsessing over.
India.
Stop with the dramatic tears, the fake little crocodile tears.
I did like that one placement. You tell me the one things we're supposed to be obsessing over. India. Yep. Of course. India.
I'm not doing it again. What are you crying now for?
This is just one of those thousands of predators that got caught in broad daylight. These Pakistani and Middle Eastern grouping gangs operate all across Europe. The victims are estimated to be...
Well, again, I don't know how to say it because, yes, it is a problem. Yes, it's they're from Pakistan. But the reason why they do it is because they're protected in the UK. They're protected in the UK. The thing is, in the US, there have been a few cases where things like this would happen. And normally, the father of the child, well, takes care of the problem. Takes care of the problem himself. Because it's a crime of passion. It's like there are laws to it. In some states, it's far more protected. Like I think the last one I heard of was like in Texas, where the man literally went there and just unloaded his gun and shooting the person in like any possible limb before, and then letting him bleed out as he took his, just got his revenge. Because the UK has protected these monsters out of some weird, I don't know. Because you think they do it for like the votes, but at what point in time do you realize that your nation's no longer going to be yours? Your nation doesn't belong to you. Why would you care about winning an election when the election, well, belongs to a nation that isn't even your own? I mean, I'm never going to travel to the UK as long as it's Pakistan territory. Like, come on, let's be honest. I don't want to, like, so many places in Europe, I don't want to ever travel to. I don't want to visit because it's becoming territory to an invading force. An invading force that they're welcoming in. They are welcoming in with open arms, giving them whatever they want. And when they start doing heinous acts, they're like, oh, we understand you're from a third world country. You know what? Even though you defiled this 8-year-old, even though you stabbed this white guy, even though you've beheaded this person, it's all okay. Even though you threw this child in with the tigers, in with the bears, it's all okay. We understand you're from a third world country. You need 5 to 50 years to acclimate. It just doesn't make sense. It just doesn't make sense. If I'm traveling to another country, I learn the laws of that country and I learn not to, be disrespectful. Just like if you're going to a nation and they fly or they have the national anthem before the movie at the theaters, even if that's not your national anthem and everyone else is standing up, what do? What do you do? Come on, tell me, what do you do in response? I'm curious. I'm curious what everyone does when they hear a national anthem playing in a movie theater. I'd stand up. It's just out of respect. It has nothing to do with the fact that I believe that it needs to be done. I do it because it's respectful of the place I'm at. That's why I found it so weird when during the BLM, it was like, oh, let's all sit down. No one stand for the national anthem in the U.S. because the U.S. is racist. Like, what? It's just that makes no sense. That makes no sense. Yeah, you just stand up. You've got to. It's called respect.
Over 1 million so far.
I want the world to hear what we heard during the 2 weeks of our independent gang inquiry hearings. An inquiry that should never have needed to happen. He took his pants down, penetrated me, had sex with me. He then stopped before ejaculation. He picked up the bottle of Jack Daniels, which was now empty, and he fought me. He broke the glass while he was there. At that point, I was about nearly 13. Another testimony. I was held down by the men as they each took turns to orally and vaginally me, taking it in turns to down my arms and my legs. When the assault ended, the men hit me repeatedly, threatened to find me, kill me, and harm my loved ones if I ever told anybody.
And the funny thing is, the news and all the articles are calling this guy a white supremacist. A man that's telling the truth of what's happening to his citizens is a white supremacist. You would think nations would have their people to be their top priority. We need to be protected by our governments. Our governments are there for us. Our governments are there to make sure that we are represented. The problem is, for some reason, there's all this weird, confusing guilt that has happened where people think, oh, because of slavery that was abolished years ago, because of racism, which, yes, exists everywhere around the world, and guess what? Will never leave the world. Some people don't want to hear that. But everyone has a bias. Racism will never leave. Will never leave the world. There will always be people that believe themselves superior. There will always be people that view another group of people as inferior. Always. Always. That will never change. As long as human beings are on this planet, as long as human beings are in space, as long as human beings exist, that will never change. There will always be racists. There will always be bias, because we are not the Borg. We are not a hive mind. We are individual human beings that all have different lives. It's so crazy how there's these groups of people that are like, oh, stop the racism. Kill everyone that doesn't agree with me. It makes no sense. What happened to the agree to disagree? What happened to, it's like, you know what? I see where you're coming from, but I don't completely agree with you. Here's why. What happened to that? They're calling him a white supremacist because he wants his people protected from the barbarians that the nation has allowed in to basically, well, take advantage of the children. Do whatever they want. Oh, freaking,
What had happened? Another. Comments were constantly made suggesting that white girls, Christian girls, were viewed as having fewer morals or lower values, whereas Muslim girls were described by some of the men as having dignity and higher moral standing. These comparisons were used to justify the way I was treated and to further humiliate and control me. Another. She was a white woman herself, who I imagine may have been groomed, has obviously now married into the family, shouting obscenities at us. Throughout the whole sentencing, she was constantly saying, "Being liars, lying white bitches." She said to me that God will be the witness for what happens to me. Another. This did play a part and motivated the selection or demographic of the victims. Throughout my exploitation, the other girls I encountered, or who were abused alongside me, were almost exclusively white. Another. She had a baby by him, and his dad was an imam. His dad knew. He got his son married and said that he wasn't allowed to see the child. They look after their own community. Another. Over the course of the abuse, I was by multiple police officers in different parts of the country. Another. He put a cigarette out on the base. Another. It started when I was 13. I was by probably about 600 or 700 different men over 3 years.
Can you just give a brief outline of what happened to you?
I met Arshad Hussain when I was. I always say there was nothing vulnerable about me apart from the obvious. That was just a child. When I met Arshad Hussain when I was 12 years old, that all changed. And for several years, I went on to be abused mentally and physically. And I was also coerced into committing. I went missing for days, weeks, months at a time. My family contacted the authorities and the police said that I was making a lifestyle choice. He was 24 years old. He was a Pakistani Muslim man. He was known to the police and to social care for being what we know now, one of the most dangerous men in the United Kingdom. He was related to a Labour politician. He made a no prosecution deal with Arshad Hussain and a police officer called PC Hassad Ali. So what that meant was, on one occasion when I was abducted.
Similar organized crime is happening in India to known as Love Jihad. Why Love Jihad not popular? Because it's considered Islamophobic. Yeah. And it's a fancy English word like grooming. Yeah, it is. It's that's why, like, the crap, what's it called? Corella story. Like, you know, the first Corella story, the second Corella story. A lot of people have issue with the name. But again, they could have done a different title for that. But that's literally a story about the world. That's a story that the world needs to see. Because that's what's going along in the world. That's how they treat these people. They find them young. They groom them. They encourage them. They belittle them because they're less than human. Again, remember, they view them as animals. Women or kafirs are animals. We're all animals. It's just like, if that's truly what they believe, offer them a goat. Offer them a dog. Offer them an animal in place of a child. These people are just these people are animals. They're monsters. They don't belong in a civilized society. They don't belong in a civilized society. And this is, of course, okay, I got to clarify, the extremists that don't know right from wrong, because for some reason they have it in their own head that they are correct and everyone else needs to be removed. And again, depending on how you interpret it, it is written in the Quran, which I have, yeah, right there behind me, right there, the green one, of course, right next to the Holy Bible. The Holy Quran, right next to the Holy Bible. You know, just to piss off people, But yeah, it's these monsters that view their religious law above the law of man, which in some sense, especially from religious people, they're like, of course, God's law is far more superior than the rule of man. The problem is, it's like, even if you look at like the Holy Bible or what's in the Quran or a lot of the old sacred texts, the thing they did for punishment, for like thieving, for like cheating, for like all this stuff is barbaric. Imagine putting all that stuff from the Bible, from the Quran, from all these ancient religious texts into modern day society, which technically is what happens in these barbaric nations. They view what's in the religious text as the most important thing, instead of realizing it was like, you know what? That's how they perceive the world at that point in time. However, right now we have a different form of incarceration. We have different rules. We have different laws. Maybe we don't go about doing the same kind of stoning, cutting off hands, crucifixions, all this stuff. Maybe we don't do that this day and age. Because guess what? We're supposed to grow as a people. We're supposed to wisen up. You can still hold true to your values, still hold true to your religious text. Just realize it's a little dated. It's a little over 1,000 years old, the Quran. It's 2,000 years old, the Bible. It's like they're dated. They are incredibly dated. Don't bring those old barbaric customs into modern civilization. but these people just don't see it that way. They go, it's like, oh, but it is written. It is written. Like, yeah, of course. So is being with your cousin, but everyone knows what that leads to. Everyone knows what that leads to. So is being with a child, but everyone knows what that leads to. Heck, in the Bible, they had a daughter sleeping with her father. Everyone knows what that leads to. We've grown up as a civilization. Why do we have to stick in this mindset of barbarism? I was like, grow up, grow up. These barbarians need to be eradicated. Keep the level-headed ones around because they're not extremists, because in the end, you will always get an extremist branch out of everything, whether it's politics, whether it's religion, whether it's whatever it may be, even like fandoms. You always get extremes out of everything.
They told him if he handed me over at a petrol station that he wouldn't be prosecuted. So he was allowed time and time again to get away with the crimes I was committing against me. He was beaten, was abducted. There was times when he tried to kill me.
And when you call these people out, you're labeled a racist and this phobic, that phobic. Suddenly the topic of discussion switches from bringing justice to the victims to how you could call them Pakistani grooming gangs. Because that's what they do. That's what they are. Pakistani grooming gangs.
The men who preyed on them were predominantly Muslim, generally either from Pakistan or of Pakistani heritage.
For the sake of humanity, can you please not try to be politically correct once?
That 9 out of every 10 streets have been abused. If accurate, that puts the figure on a national scale in the hundreds of thousands.
It's one of the most sad and shameful aspects of our society. I have to say I'm totally embarrassed by this, that we have not really been able to protect them.
It's going on everywhere. In the big cities or small cities or towns, everywhere this has happened.
लेकिन जना सिर्फ मैंने 2 मरतबा किए बस दोनों भाई थे अपने जानू बेटे मेरा पास पैसे भी नहीं था तुम्हारी मारे ना आपने तकरीबन कितने एक हुआ था और 10 और 11 12 थे.
At bus and truck terminals across Pakistan, drivers and conductors often keep boys on a permanent basis as helpers or apprentices.
There is a culture to have a small go along with, and it means that it is kept as a or as a partner.
When you don't ask these questions, you'll never find the solutions you're looking for. It's a societal issue in Pakistan and the Middle East. There's a reason why these self-proclaimed journalists and content creators don't talk about these issues. In fact, they distract you from relevant information filled with propaganda. And I'm pretty sure this guy could come up with a justification for this as well.
The MP is now pushing for immediate action. He's called for the deportation of foreign national offenders found guilty of participating in these crimes. Lowe also said his legal team has created a growing target list of alleged perpetrators and people he describes as institutional enablers. He plans to use parliamentary privilege to name individuals in the House of Commons.
See, the thing is, like, this will not stop. This will not stop. The UK needs to fundamentally change. Needs to fundamentally change. The people need to have the freedom of speech. They need to have the freedom of speech. And then secondly, they need the right to bear arms. As soon as you give the people the right to defend themselves from the barbarians, it's less likely to happen. it's less likely to happen. Are there groups in the United States which want to do the exact same thing here? Yeah. But a lot of them, get this, are afraid because they know how most Americans will react when they find out their daughter has been moved into a certain kind of trafficking. They know how the father's going to react. They know that they will have a bit of lead in them. So it is that built-in fear that prevents a lot worse things happening here. It prevents it. Does it still happen? Yes, it still does. But the thing is, there is not as much happening here in the US, except from just morons to begin with, that there is in like the UK, where there is no freedom of speech, there is no right to bear arms, there is no right to self-defense, because normally, guess what? If there's an immigrant attacking you, the person being attacked is the one who's charged, because apparently it's racism if an immigrant attacks you. It's racism if the immigrant attacks you, because you apparently said something wrong. You apparently were doing something out of bounds, which you you don't have rights, which makes no sense. I mean, you look at the kid Henry that was stabbed by a Sikh, just a mentally unstable person. Why is it that the law, the law in the UK, no one's allowed to have any sort of weapon? No sort of weapon. But for some reason, Sikhs, because it's in their religious, they have to wear the ring, they have to carry the blade. Like, no. No. If it's a law, then it should be held accountable to everybody. Nobody, no matter their religious text, if anything, if they want to complain that the nation despises that religion because they're not allowed to carry around their weapon, well, they can go to a nation that's more encouraging. The Sikhs can come to the US. You're allowed to carry a blade. Just don't be like the idiot that got shot in LA by an officer because he was swinging it around in the streets. Or don't drive semi-trucks. Don't be a Sikh semi-driver, because apparently the past two killed innocents. But yeah, it's just like this stuff is just crazy. The UK completely needs to change. And again, I believe in self-defense. I have a huge, and I believe in protecting the family. Like I've said, if anyone comes to my house, I have no problem putting them in the ground. If anyone targets my wife, if anyone targets my family, I have no problem getting revenge. No problem. I escalate. I always escalate. It's someone takes my eye, I'm taking out both theirs. That mindset. Not the stupid eye for an eye makes the whole world blind. No. Someone comes for your eye, you take out all theirs. You have to be the one to, when you hit back harder, they're less likely to do anything. They're less likely to do anything. Because in the end, a lot of people that do that kind of stuff, there's a reason why they go around in roaming gangs, because they're cowards. Deep down, they're cowards. They need to have a group of numbers in order to target a 9-year-old. They need a number of 10 guys to target a 9-year-old. That's how cowardly these people truly are. That's how cowardly these people truly are. Now imagine that they know, like in the US, that they're a group of 10 people. Well, there's a bullet in the gun for each one of them. There's a bullet in the gun for each one of them.
Our inquiry report proves that without doubt, there is an undeniable link between religion and the things. As a country, we need to find the courage to finally say so. The mass of vulnerable working-class white girls by gangs of primarily Pakistani Muslim men is pure, unfettered evil. Our report outlines in great detail what has happened, why it happened, and what we need to do to stop it from happening again. This is an important day.
Huge bombshell news today. The gang inquiry report has just been published in full. It lays bare the astonishing scale of the rape, abuse and torture of potentially hundreds of thousands of young girls at the evil hands of predominantly Pakistani Muslim men and men from other Muslim countries.
Pakistan is #1 in the world in cousin marriages. Studies estimate between 50 to 60% of marriages in Pakistan are between relatives. And this practice spans cross-class lines, including educated urban families. In Pakistan, this is a cultural and social practice. A lot of Pakistani medical professionals and reformers are actively raising awareness about the health risks domestically. Why do they do this? Well, for one, it keeps wealth and land within the family. It strengthens tribal and clan alliances. Families already know and trust each other. It's seen as a safer match. Women have more autonomy and protect.
And a lot of serious mental disorders, for sure.
76% of Pakistanis in Bradford marry their first cousins. I know. Pakistanis make up 3%. Pakistani men make up 3% of the UK population, or Pakistanis do. They're responsible for 33% of child defects at birth. I've seen. They are born retarded. It's costing us a fortune. It's costing the economy a fortune. It's billions and billions. No, it's no longer right. It's never been right, and it has to stop in Great Britain.
in Pakistan, half of the population gets married to a first or second cousin. And this shows that cousin marriages are still very popular in Pakistan, in South Asia, and even in Arab countries. But when you look into it, there's actually a problem because the chances of having children who have genetic disorders increases. It doubles. Even though it's a small percentage, but it still doubles from 3% to 6%.
It is a serious issue that often gets ignored. And it doesn't just lead to slower economic development and higher fertility rates. The bigger concern is genetic disorders. That's why a large portion of people in Pakistan are prone to severe genetic conditions.
Ordinary people see family intermarriage overall as something that is very positive, something that helps build family bonds. The way to redress this is not to empower the state to ban adults from marrying each other, not least because I don't think it would be effective or enforceable. Instead, the matter needs to be approached as a health awareness issue and a cultural issue where women are...
See, this mentality doesn't exist in the modern culture. This mentality wanting to marry your sibling. Like, you say that, most people know that is disgusting. It doesn't matter what kind of corn you watch. Most people rationally know it's disgusting. Most human beings know it's disgusting. We can't have people, elected officials, who are all gung-ho about, you know what? You know, my cousin, you know, my 12-year-old niece, she's attractive, right? I'm going to get divorced, or I'm going to marry her as well. Like, that is so barbaric. But that's the people, which are politicians, especially in the UK. Yes, the US has their own share of, like, barbaric politicians. What, the Ilhan Omar got her brother here by marrying her brother? It's like, of course. Which is disgusting. Most people know that's absolutely disgusting. But hopefully she gets put in prison soon for all the fraud. But this mindset doesn't belong in civilization. This mindset belongs in, guess what? The barbaric caveman times where they didn't have fully developed functioning brains. That says a lot about these people that defend wanting to marry their family members. Because to me, we know what that leads to, which obviously means that those people, and this is going to sound very, very, and could get me completely canceled, they don't have fully developed brains. But I'm just going to say it. They obviously don't have fully developed brains if they can't put 2 and 2 together. If they don't understand the consequences of what they're doing. If they're literally ruining the lives of a child, well, not ruining. I mean, some kids that have mental disorders can still live happy lives. They still can, and sometimes more happy than normal adults. But the same thing is, it's just like you're adding to the world more problems, which has to be subsidized by other people. That mindset does not belong in civilized society. You never give barbarians a chance at leadership. Well, the funny thing is we knew this back in the day. Like, the Roman Empire always went to war with the barbarians of the north. Why? Because they didn't, the cultures couldn't mix. The cultures couldn't mix. The barbarians just don't belong. The barbarians just don't belong. You have to remove the barbarians. They're going to be a blight on society. It is insane that this is a politician in the UK. It is insane that we have politicians like this in the US. It is insane that foreign nationals are allowed to become leaders of an opposing nation.
Being forced against their will to undergo marriage. In doing so, it is important to recognize for many people this is a highly sensitive issue, and in discussing it, we should try to step into the shoes of those who perhaps are not from the same culture as ours.
Their main issue is not even cousin marriage. It's the unwillingness and audacity to not accept that it is a serious societal issue. Change begins with acknowledging that your culture is barbaric.
Yeah, you know the video. Help me.
It's a word you might not know, but it's one of the critical things that you need to understand about what goes on in the Middle East when it comes to of women. Now, when I talk about the invasion of Europe by third world migrants, mostly Islamic fighting military-aged male migrants who come over as refugees, but they're not actually refugees. They're here to make hell for the people of Europe and the United Kingdom, and also in America. Not so much now because we have an actual president, but also in America. Taharush is this three-ring. Now, you may have heard of it, and you may not know the name, but Lara Logan talked about this. It happened to her when she was over in Egypt, I believe. But let's talk about what it is, because I think too often we just say, oh, there's grooming gangs, oh, there's going on. But people here, they don't really understand the form of going on. So this Taharush is a three rings. So what happens? These men see you, they take you, they want you. They bring you into this group, all right? 5 or 6 of them, they start to penetrate these horrible things to you. But they are sort of shielded because there's something called a middle ring. And this second ring, it forms a layer around the inner ring to sort of block the person from escaping. They watch, maybe they participate, maybe they even do it because these are sick people. They just create a sick psychological barrier. So that basically there's all these horrible things going on to this poor woman or women on the inside with the inner ring, but there's a second ring to make sure that it's even more miserable and to hide it from the public. They also want to make sure that nobody sees it. And then there's the outer ring, which deters and repels potential rescuers like bystanders, police, companions, anybody. So these rings on the end, they push people away, they make sure nobody can get close, so that these women can be belittled and just destroyed on the inside. Now, it has a name. It's called Taharush. You might not have heard of it, but you better get used to it. You see, because if you're going to import this culture into your country, if you're going to bring people that come from countries who do this into your country, they're going to bring that practice with them.
Chickens, goats, dogs, nothing is safe from them.
Pretty little baby.
Alright, our Bangladeshi bachelors are back. He's looking for a Pakistani bride this time. It's always nice to see the brotherhood between Pakistan and Bangladesh when they unite to spread anti-India propaganda. The same Bangladesh that was tortured by Pakistan till 1971. Well, what's wrong with Kashmir now? I think that natural sun protection is amazing.
Hi.
Hi.
Where are you from?
I'm from Pakistan.
Pakistan. Okay. You guys talk about genocide after you slay Hindus? That's right. Are you really going to be like talking about genocide? Look at your fake country, what he's doing to Hindus. Burning Hindus alive in the name of Islam. You're talking to me about genocide. Maybe start with your own country first.
Okay, then why you are always scared of Pakistan?
We're scared of Pakistan? When?
No.
Always. I will be scared of Pakistan the day that you guys will have enough toilets for the civilians that live in Pakistan, okay? Well, let's do a deal. When there's not going to be one toilet for every 20 Pakistanis, I'll be terrified of Pakistan, okay?
For some weird, unexplainable reasons, Pakistanis think the world is scared of them. Like scared of what? Grooming gangs? Terrorism? Their armed forces?
IBZB catching strays. Of course. I mean, I've seen only like one of his videos and I was like, okay, yeah, this guy's clearly off his rocker. He clearly has no concept. And the thing is, like, he's I think like an American Muslim or something like that. Again, I have no problem with Muslims. As extremists. And the sad thing is, the fact that there are more extremists now, is the sad part. There are more extremists now than there are level-headed Muslims that realize that, oh, you know what? Our text is dated. We can modernize, but still follow, you know, some of our core values. Not all, some of our core values. But the thing is, like, now everyone's gonna... It happened after 9/11. It's gonna start happening in the UK, where even... Guess what? Even Indians who have lived in the UK for the past 200 years, their family has been in the UK. They probably don't even speak their native tongue anymore. They've just been born and raised in Britain. They're most likely going to get kicked out as well, because it's going to escalate with the government doing nothing. It's going to escalate to where the people need to take action into their own hands. And it's going to happen soon. Especially after the filing came out from Robert Lowe. After that came out, it's going to happen really, really soon. Where people are just going to go up in arms on their own. And the sad thing is, a ton of innocent people, thousands of innocent people will get caught in the crossfire. Because there are more innocent people in the UK than there are actual criminals doing the crimes. But the thing is, the criminals doing the crimes, there are way too many of them for the people to just be like, you know what, let's find out who's the good one. So everyone's just going to get painted with one brush. They're going to end up creating races out of a nation. I wouldn't be surprised if we see like the next Nazi party come into power from the UK. I mean, how did the Nazi power gain power in the UK? It was after the First World War, when Germany was sanctioned for starting the First World War, that they literally had nothing to themselves, and the Nazi party took power by saying, you know what, we shouldn't be suffering this way. Our nation is a strong nation. Our nation is a great nation. We should... and the Nazi Party took power. The same thing. It's just like history repeats itself because people refuse to acknowledge it. The world is so small. We can find out anything at our fingertips. We can look up anything right now. And for some reason, we just ignore. We just ignore everything that's going on. We pretend it doesn't happen.
The gang inquiry report has just been published, and over 250,000 white girls were raped and trafficked by Muslim immigrant files in the UK. And that's just what was reported over the last few decades.
For those of you who keep asking why religion is always mentioned here, well, when their whole identity revolves around religion, you just cannot separate religion from this. The failed state of Pakistan was literally created because they were obsessed with religion.
Yep.
Everything they do is about religion.
Have you heard the term illusion of truth? If you repeat a lie often enough, people believe it is the truth. That's what Pakistan is counting on. What they lost on the battlefield, they're trying to win in the minds. Claim number 1, Pakistan destroyed Indian military bases and they used Indian media videos as proof. So of course this was fake. Claim number 2, the Pakistan...
Oh, show us the proof. Show us the proof. It's on social media. We, the government, have no proof. Social media has all the proof. Just go to social media. That will tell you the proof.
Navy has deployed submarines and aircraft, but here's a plot twist. The picture they proudly showed to prove deployment is a file photo. They actually edited the image and added a submarine to it. Yes, the Pakistan Navy's best deployment tool is Adobe Photoshop. Claim number 3, a female Indian Air Force pilot was captured by Pakistan. India has categorically denied this. Claim number 4, the unmatched prowess of the Pakistani Air Force. They've put out several videos to create this hype to show how they struck back with surgical precision. Claim number 5, Pakistan says its drones flew all the way to the Indian capital, that they hovered over New Delhi. Needless to say, this is fake. I guess the only thing flying was the imagination of whoever came up with this.
And this is not just limited to the news. An average delusional Pakistani keyboard warrior on social media still believes that the world revolves around them until they leave the country.
Like the furthest they made it was like they were over Punjab, they were over Jammu, because my wife was in India at the time and feeling the earth shake, and she could literally look out the window and seeing the drone shot out of the sky. There's no way they made it all the way to Delhi. There's no way they made it anywhere first. They made it into the first few states, or the first state along the border, but that's it. That was it.
One common thing you'll notice in most of these videos is that Pakistani and Bangladeshi bots try to claim that these videos are from India.
I'm going to show you Lahore, the world's most polluted city. Breathing clean air is nearly impossible. Garbage is rarely collected. Food safety is a serious concern. Hospitals don't meet hygiene standards. And some people even relieve themselves out on the streets.
If you go under the comments of this video, you're most likely to see Pakistanis claiming this as India.
Mr. Minister, from thinking Pakistan, if you would like to entertain my question also. Okay. How about pollution? First of all, India and Pakistan have been accusing each other about terrorism.
No, the world has been accusing Pakistan. Where did India come from?
Hina Rabbani, as you said, yesterday, she brought up here. Could you come to the question? My question is, how long South Asia is going to see this disseminating from New Delhi, Kabul, and Pakistan?
Originating from Pakistan and affecting the world. Everyone knows it. These are facts. Why do you need Jaishankar for this?
How long they are going to be at war, number 1. And second, and how about the UN Security Council resolutions on Kashmir? Does India abide by it or not?
You're asking the wrong minister when you say how long will we do this, because it is the minister of Pakistan who will tell you how long Pakistan intends to practice terrorism. So look, at the end of the day, the world is not stupid, the world is not forgetful, and the world does increasingly call out countries and organizations and people who indulge in terrorism. And by taking that debate elsewhere, you're not going to hide it. You're not going to confuse anybody anymore. People have figured it out. So my advice is, please clean up your act. Please try to be a good neighbor. Please try and contribute to what the rest of the world is trying to do today.
See, everyone needs to start literally calling this stuff out. And again, you can hate Trump all you want. Like his first real legit, I love seeing it, was when he was talking about the blatant corruption in the California voting. Like, how does it take weeks to count the votes in the state of California? And it's taken weeks for decades in the state of California. My vote doesn't matter here in this state. It means nothing. It means nothing. But yeah, it's just like, and he was talking about it, and they were like, no, we're going to talk about this. It's just like, and then he gets up and literally crashes out on the interviewer, and it's just like, have a nice day, after he takes off the mic and everything and walks out. We need more of that. We need more people that call out the morons who are asking questions. Or just like, dude, you're clearly just trying to rile up nonsense here. You're riling up nonsense.
Which is economic growth, progress, development. So I hope through your channel that message goes through.
Anyway, can we please look at the beautiful streets of Pakistan now? It doesn't look too different from the streets of superpower China, isn't it?
Is this Pakistan or the future of Europe and the West? And by the way, these are the people who call our dogs filthy and dirty. Meanwhile, their streets look like a garbage truck exploded. But hey, at least we are paying billions for climate change and anti-pollution measures, right? But what do you guys think about it? Are you excited for this cultural upgrade in your city?
All right, so while us Europeans have to drink our drinks out of paper straws and have to glue the lid on the water bottles, that's a river in Pakistan. Yeah, they're just dumping their to the river. No, this is not artificial intelligence. This is not AI generated. This is a real video out of Pakistan. Look it up. Yeah.
अब ये मस्जिद है इस तरफ और यहाँ पे ये लड़की यहाँ पे डांस कर रही है ये है जी यहाँ पे मुसलमानों की लाइफ
This is how superpower China takes care of its most significant ally, Pakistan.
Let me say this in English so you can understand what I'm saying.
I have translation.
No, I know you have translation, but I just want to make sure you get it right. There will come a day that we will see far more radical, extremist, and coming out of Europe because of lack of decision-making, trying to be politically correct, or assuming that they know the Middle East and they know Islam and they know the others far better than we do. And I'm sorry, but that's pure ignorance.
Yeah, it takes those with level heads going like, you know what? This is the real problem. This is the real problem. And anyone who's telling you like, oh, this is the correct X, Y, and Z of anything, they've got problems. You've always got to be questioning everything. I don't understand how this PC culture has led to the destruction of like the Western society. The UK is falling at the seams because they welcomed in the Trojan horse, and they've continued to welcome in the Trojan horse over and over and over again.
This Pakistani invention must be used to transport those goats and chickens. Yet this technology helps you to scan your surroundings for potential threats. It should be implemented everywhere. You need to understand, it also keeps them disciplined, or they would go haywire in an instant. Forget the egg. Can you take your eyes off this delectable heavenly Pakistani pizza? Looks like it has survived world wars. It belongs in a museum. Yes, apparently the national dish of Pakistan is not digestible by average humans. You need superhuman powers for that.
I believe that more than half of the Pakistan is quite gay, actually. They don't want to just say it out loud, but I guess...
Well, when the majority of children are sold into, the majority of male children are sold into by their impoverished families into trafficking, of course, they'll possibly become gay. They've never experienced anything else. They were sold as a child.
80% of Pakistan is gay and the remaining 20% are bisexuals. So I don't think that anybody is straight in Pakistan. They don't say this, they won't accept it, they will deny it, they will bring religion into it, they will bring culture into it, but this is an open secret. Nobody's straight in Pakistan. So I did not worry a lot about my sexuality. Like I knew that my this male cousin is my that male cousin. My this neighbor is my that neighbor, both boys. So I kind of like quite settled in my head that this is something works this way in Pakistan.
I believe you. I believe you. What you just saw is nothing compared to the actual reality. I could have shown so much more, but I think this is enough for you to get the idea. The point of this video is to let you know that these propagandists try to deviate your attention from their own issues to paint a narrative against India or any other place. Because their own reality
Genetic
is difficult for
disorder,
them to accept.
well, yeah.
Change begins with acceptance.
Pepsi doesn't know the reality of the three girls looking down. Well, yeah, I don't either. Like, that doesn't make any sense to me. Because, again, for me, even some, like, family dynamics in India, I find as incredibly, not barbaric. I don't think barbaric's the word, but very out of time. Very out of time. If I'm honest, I just think it's very out of time. I believe like men and women are equal, not equal in everything because I'm superior in some aspects. I mean, I'm stronger. Well, that's pretty much it. My wife is more intelligent. She's just, yeah. So we got our strengths. We got our strengths for sure. But that's the thing. You have to know that there's positives and negatives between each, and you have to respect one another. You have to always discuss things. And the thing is, in India, like some areas, it's not that way. It's not that way. There is and it's normally like in the rural areas. In the big cities, it's more modernized, but in the rural areas, it's like the man is the king, the god of the household, and everyone else must obey, which is just barbaric. It's barbaric, if I'm honest. And to me, it's just as a foreigner, I'm like, yeah, that doesn't seem very civilized. That doesn't seem very civilized. But then again, I come from it from a different perspective. And then that's just how it works. That is just how it works. But I gotta say, I really like Pepziti's content. And this one was just dark. But the funny thing is they started the propaganda. The problem is eventually the people who spread it come to light and everyone sees the truth behind it all. Like, again, nobody, even in India, well, except probably Sandman. Sandman will always somewhat defend it, but not always. He always will complain about it, but will defend it because he's always about India. I like Sandman, but I prefer Pepziti. People in India will complain about the pollution. You can call out the pollution all you want, but that isn't India. That isn't India. And the thing is, there are more of us out there than there are the people creating hate towards India. Sadly, there's more of us out there who have either traveled to India or have seen or learned something from India. I mean, a lot of people, well, we can hope a lot of people know where shampoos come from, where perfumes come from. A lot of us can hope that we know where yoga came from. A lot of us can hope, like, again, all these gurus have great sayings and things like that, like positivity, and a lot of that all comes from India, originates in India from like the ancient scripts and things like that. And eventually, there are more of us out there that know more. And let's be honest, there are probably 2 billion Indians out there in the world. 2 billion. If there's 1.5 in India, there's probably 2 billion around the world. There's 2 billion around the world. So there's more of us out there that know about India than hate it. So in the end, they're going to get outnumbered. In the end, the truth of the fact will come to light and everyone will see where the true vomit is coming from. You guys see the video?
Don't forget to like and subscribe.
Where's that?